Hello and welcome to Unprofessional Engineering. My name is James.
You got Luke.
Luke, today we're going to solve a mystery for people, something that's baffled me for years now. How does Amazon get me my stuff so fast?
And this was actually one of my, not rants, but one of my praises, like during the Luke's rant. I actually
really?
remembered, it was, I don't know if we posted this one yet, but I remember it was a while back, maybe a month or two ago. I was like, I ordered something on like a Tuesday afternoon, and it was at my house Wednesday. It was like magical, leprechauns came by and delivered it or something like that.
Well, that's interesting that you say that because, fun fact, magical leprechauns is actually how they make this happen.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Good episode.
We're done.
All right. Yeah. In case you didn't know, not you, but our listeners, in June of 2019, Amazon doubled the speed of Amazon Prime shipping from 2 days to 1 day for many packages.
And here's the thing. Like, when it was 2 days, I thought that was mind-blowing to me. This is something I'm going to order from across the country, maybe a different country altogether. 2 days is mind-blowing.
Yeah, even after this research, it still blows my mind.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So it says many packages, so I was skeptical because I know I've ordered stuff since that hasn't been 1 day, and it's been a slow snail's pace 2 days. And by many packages, they literally mean 10 million plus products that they offer in 1 day.
Well, the thing too is, and I don't know if you're going to talk about this, they have these like Prime Essentials, like they have like their own special shopping
which I did
market,
not know.
This is stuff that they just got sitting in distribution centers that's like branded, Amazon Essentials that you can buy, and they're typically, it's kind of like Trader Joe's. They kind of brand something as their own.
I don't go to Trader Joe's because I bathe.
I love Trader Joe's.
I know, and you don't bathe, so it all adds up.
Alrighty.
Fun fact for you, Luke.
Shoot.
Amazon spends tens of billions with a B on shipping every year.
The number I saw was 9. This is in 2018, so my stat is a year or so old. But they spent $9 billion.
Nope, your stat is wrong.
Well, what year is yours?
In 2018, in Q4, they spent $9 billion
wow.
alone.
I stand corrected.
But you think about it, it has Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and Christmas all in that span.
I did cut and paste that.
So they're getting pounded by deliveries at that time, right? So the delivery fees are through the roof. Like $1/4, that's nuts. All they need to do is not ship anything for $1/4 and give me that money. I mean, at least I will live happily.
Yeah. And I'm just realizing I spelled Amazon with an E at the end, so it's Amazon.
Well, maybe Amazon actually spent $9 billion that year, and Amazon spent it in $1/4. That makes sense.
Oh, goodness. Sorry
I love that. Okay, to help make one-day shipping happen, Amazon also set aside $800 million in Q2 of 2019 due to the increased costs that were going to happen. So they were planning ahead, like storing some cash aside to help pay for more drivers, help pay for more transportation, and I'm sure we're going to get into the number of vehicles and everything they have, which is crazy as well. But they're already stashing more cash to make this happen. To reduce costs, Amazon's trying to eliminate their reliance on like your normal traditional giant shippers like your UPSs or FedExes or
United States Postal Service.
Yeah, the Postal Service, all of those things. And they're becoming more independent with their own shipping networks. Apparently, Amazon Air is a thing. I did not know that's a thing.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
They handle 26% of their online orders now on their own.
They got 50 planes.
That's a lot of planes, right?
That's bigger than some airlines. That's bigger than probably a lot of like the micro airlines.
What was the airline in Wings? They had like one plane.
Yeah, but that was like a little Cessna.
Wow.
I liked Wings. I used to watch Wings all the time.
I liked Lowell.
Lowell was good.
Yeah,
I liked Lowell.
Yeah. Okay, moving on.
50
planes. That's a lot.
That's a lot of planes. Yeah. So I want to talk about like what has to happen before you even order. So we're going to talk about like how it gets here in a day or 2 days or whatever it is.
I thought they built whatever I ordered on the spot.
But they don't.
Oh, well,
so
my research is wrong.
So they have to do a ton of work ahead of time. So before you go into your Amazon and you pick and click what you want and hit as fast as possible, the very first thing they have is they have these distribution centers literally, I think there's 175 of them 175 of them worldwide, roughly. And these distribution centers, they literally are just housing stock of what you're ordering.
And you said one's right down the road from you,
Literally like a mile and a half away.
Ooh, here's a question for you. Have you ever done the deliver it there and I'll go pick it up option? Because I know that's one of them for you to get stuff faster.
That.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Huh. Well, I don't want to leave and go do
No.
that,
Yeah, that's what are we, heathens?
Right, exactly.
Okay, so there's distribution centers all over the world, and so the distribution centers they do a couple of things. So first of all, they stock high volume third-party items. So let's say this isn't Amazon Essentials. This isn't their branded products. This is all the things that the vast majority, like 80% of what you buy on Amazon, comes from a third party. If it's a high volume item, let's say like coffee filters, things that people buy all the time, they keep that in these distribution centers in some volume at virtually all the distribution centers. And they have all kinds of logistics and analytics that knows, hey, people order a lot of Pete's coffee in New York and New Jersey, so we need to make sure we have that volume of coffee in stock so people can get it the next day.
Imagine the data they have.
The analytics has got to be.
They should team up with like Facebook or one of those to do all the creepiness.
It's got to be bananas.
Gosh.
So
fun fact for you, real quick.
Shoot.
Most of what you buy from Amazon comes from third-party vendors. It's not theirs. Back in 1999, it was only 3%. But now in 2018 was the most recent number I saw. It was all the way up to 58%.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
So they stock their own, plus they stock high volume. Then their third parties that are lower volume, third parties will ship directly to you using the Amazon network and all the different things. And they have agreements that these third party suppliers, they have to agree when you get an order. If you want your stuff to be listed as Prime, and I don't know about you, but I basically check Prime, and if it's not Prime, I'm not seeing it. So as a third party, you want to make sure you can, if you're shipping it direct to the consumer, you want to make sure you're listed as Prime. And you got to hustle. I mean, depending on how many orders you're getting a day, and if they're not stocking your stuff. Like one of the guys we met, UKEG, the guys at Growler Works. Amazon actually purchased a volume of their growlers and keeps them in stock so that Amazon can fulfill them directly, but also Growler Works does some direct shipping via Amazon.
That's exactly it. So that 58% I mentioned, those are the folks that you're talking about that have to hustle and get their stuff out the door and ship to you fast. Then Amazon makes up that other 42% where it comes from stuff they buy from third parties like Growler Works or whoever that they then keep in their various warehouses, as well as all of the other stuff like their own brands like Amazon Echo, Essentials, Basics, and apparently Larkin Row.
Yeah.
None of which I know anything about.
I don't either.
Didn't even know most of these existed until yesterday or whenever I was looking at this. But apparently that makes up a big chunk of their business.
Shout out to Growler Works.
Yeah,
check out our interview we did. I think it's on Facebook somewhere.
It's on the YouTubes, maybe?
Maybe on the YouTubes as well. But basically, if you're into cold brew nitro coffee or home brewing, these cats over at Growler Works make these awesome home brewing kits. Make sure you check them out there.
We should put that up on our webpage as a... What are those links that people can click on and pay me big cash money? I think I've made $9 on that. It's pretty amazing.
Check them out.
Check them out. That's right. So they're filling up warehouses. They're shipping it to us. You do Prime then, right?
I don't buy anything if it's unless it's an absolute essential that isn't on Prime. I just check Prime and it better be there.
I've been on Prime for years now, but
you were a hater for a while.
I was a hater for a while. I'll admit that's probably the one mistake I've ever made in my life.
Yeah.
Because I don't make many, right?
No, you don't.
But that was a big one. I fully support Prime now. I don't know the last day I didn't get a box delivered to my house. Not because I was the one that ordered it, but, So
you do day-to-day goods on Prime.
I mean, like cat litter gets delivered to my house.
So we don't get all that much. Like we still buy it, and we could probably get our cleaning products and that stuff.
We don't usually buy cleaning products and things like that. We'll still go to the store, or order it from the store and pick it up there. But
lazy.
I love Prime so much that I actually have an Amazon Prime Japan account as well.
What?
Right?
How cool is? Oh, because you have people you work with in Japan, and you're sending them gifts and stuff like that.
So
that's
I actually have a Japan Prime account, which I thought mine should have just qualified me for everything, but apparently I need to pay for around the world kind of stuff too. Okay, before we move on with how this magic happens any further, let's take a break for a word from our sponsor.
Let me guess, no sponsor because, as usual, you are the worst.
Actually, smart guy, this episode is sponsored by Xometry.
What?
I know, mine's blown.
If you're looking for on-demand manufacturing with massive network capacity for CNC machining, 3D printing, injection molding, or any kind of rapid manufacturing, make sure you check out Xometry.com.
And while you're there, check out the new complete guide to 3D printing, which can be found on the Resources tab of their homepage.
Better yet, make sure you use the discount code UNPRO25 to get $25 off your next purchase, James, through April 30th.
That is so much money.
It is.
And one more time, that's Xometry.com. Xometry.com. All right, back to Amazon.
So I got the next step.
Okay,
so
tell
what
me about the
happens
next
when you
step.
order? And I think you got a bunch of stuff on this. So like
Yeah.
when you're in there and you hit order. So you're in there, you're looking for, your hand sanitizer and your toilet paper, and you order it. It's Prime. You hit order. Do you do the one-click order? I'm afraid of that one.
I don't know what that is.
Like there's an option where it's like you don't have to like go to the cart and do
Oh,
everything.
no.
You just hit boom and you get
like
it.
the reorder this item, that one? No, I don't do that. I don't do
The buttons.
the one that does the automated, like send it every 2 months one, and I don't do Prime Pantry either. Though I've thought about doing that
thought about
before.
that one too.
But I feel like that one's going to get me into a problem where it's like, yeah, give me paper towels every 2 boxes or
not a bad
whatever.
idea.
And then all of a sudden I just have too many paper towels
Yeah.
or whatever. And then I'm too lazy to go in and change that. But it's a good idea, I think.
So
Okay,
here's
go
what
ahead.
happens after you order, and I'm going to do super high level, and we can
Super
dig
high
into
level.
details. I think you have some details.
probably.
First of all, you make the order. Things get picked, packed, and shipped in their fulfillment centers worldwide. We mentioned there's 175 of them roughly. This is done by over 250,000 warehouse workers. So this whole idea that like robots are going to take people's jobs away, there's just things that robots can't do. And it's amazing what robots are doing for Amazon, but there's still a ton of human interaction at these Amazon fulfillment centers.
There were just a bunch of articles that came out about Elon and who's the Virgin guy? Richard
Branson.
Saying basically the 9-to-5 workday or the long work hours are going to go away because of robots. And I hope that's in my lifetime.
Yeah. They do have over 100,000 robots. I don't remember the name of it, but they bought this really sweet robot company. So imagine if you had like this big, gigantic square thing with wheels on it that goes under pallets.
Yeah.
And it's GPS controlled, and it actually takes the stacks of pick and packed products and moves them around basically independent of anybody running it in the warehouse to get it to where it needs to be, to then that human interacts with it and pulls it out, scans it, does what it needs to do. But it's amazing. I watched a video of like a package journey from being picked to packed to shipped, and it was pretty cool. It was very cool.
So the company was called Kiva, K-I-V-A.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So back in 2012, Amazon must have been like, whoa, we're going to need all the robots.
Yeah, we are.
So they bought this group for $775 million with an M dollars to keep things moving smoothly there. Like you said, the robots can drive things around, moving inventory from place to place. Robotic arms are there for lifting boxes and pallets and pushing them, or putting them where they need to go. And they actually have a robot that is used for packaging up items in custom box sizes.
Yeah, I saw that one.
So that's kind of interesting. And I wonder what the price is for a custom box, if that makes them save money, if it costs money, if the robot was super expensive.
I mean, it's less material, right? If it's the right size. Like I always open a box, and like my wife orders a lot of makeup, and there's like this little container, and it's in this giant box with a big air bubble in it.
I have a little thing about that later on that we can talk about, but I'm not a big fan. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No, that was it. I was doing high level, like after you order.
Yeah, so the first worker goes and it scans an item that you bought. And so they grab the item off of the shelf, right? Whoop! And they're like, hey, here's your item. And they scan it and make sure that item matches up with the item that you bought on their screen. Barcodes are all aligned, that jazz, right? And then they go ahead and they stick your item in a bin. And apparently there's like a camera that takes a picture of the worker, like the worker's hand, like where did that item go and where is it located, so that they can use technology to understand where all of these items are binned at. And so once that person's done that, there's a picker who picks the product from the bin and takes them and sends them to the packaging department. The neat thing about that is the pickers probably love the robots more than anyone, because the robots actually take these bins that the first people that scan the items, they take all of those bins and they bring them to the picker. These warehouses are giant, like
enormous,
millions of square feet, right? And so it could take forever for them to walk and get this stuff. So these robots are saving the pickers all of this time walking and moving to these different locations, as well as, risks of injury and things like that. So after that, the person at the packaging department scans your item, and a computer tells them what size box that they need to use for that item. They toss it in a box. Maybe they'll put their little filler in there. They tape it on, slap a label in there, and stick it on a conveyor belt, and off it goes to be shipped to one of the various hubs out there. A fun fact for you, though.
Shoot.
Amazon plans on spending $700 million by 2025 on training their employees, helping them to move into more advanced jobs.
Yeah, because I imagine with artificial intelligence and robots and all the different things, these manual jobs that are happening in the warehouses are probably going to start to be eliminated.
Yeah.
So after you order it, after they pick it, pack it, and deliver it, the next piece is the actual delivery piece. And Amazon says this is by far the most expensive part of it, because this one is where all that human interaction is happening. All of the delivery drivers, pilots, those last mile people taking it from distribution centers to your home. They called this last mile delivery.
So that's the very end of it.
Yeah.
Can I give you a little bit of info before that?
Shoot.
So Amazon's building a $1.5 billion air hub in Kentucky.
I saw a preview of that.
Yeah, so this started back in like mid 2019. I think it was May. Is the weather not as bad in Kentucky as I think it is?
I don't know.
Because I felt like that's kind of a weird spot to pick. Or maybe they're like, I can buy all of Kentucky
it's
for
super
nothing.
central. If you think about it, it's pretty central.
It is central. I was just worried about the weather delaying my packages, making me get them in 2 days instead of one, which is garbage. So they're building this giant thing for $1.5 billion. This hub has capacity for 100 planes, which turns out is more than the 50 that they currently have. But maybe they also let like UPS planes or something go in there as well when it's finished. Or maybe they're just planning to scale up that much. So assuming what you bought isn't sitting next door to you at one of these warehouses that you already have sitting there to get your one-day shipping, your box jumps onto one of these planes and it flies to the nearest location where there is a warehouse, where it's picked up and dumped into the warehouse, which is fine. And then once it arrives there, a delivery van shows up and it's like, yo, I'm here to pick up your packages to deliver them. And this is where we get into that last mile you were talking about.
Yeah, so last mile delivery, a lot of this is actually still outsourced to UPS and United States Postal Service. So you're going to see, your postal worker delivering, Amazon packages still.
Hate me.
I'm sure they do. But there's two really specific Amazon-specific programs that are kind of interesting. The first one's called Amazon Flex. And I remember whenever this first started, it was basically like the Uber of delivery. And I said. And these people were like clamoring to like want to do this. And they thought it was going to be like, yeah, it's like Uber, but I don't have to deal with people. I'm just delivering packages. It's called Amazon Flex. It's in over 50 cities in the U.S. alone. And there's a couple requirements for you to do this. You have to be over 21 years of age. You have to have a valid driver's license. You have to have auto insurance. And you have to have a 4-door mid-size car and be able to pass a background check. So that last one, you're out.
I mean, you're great, but that was rude.
And the way this works is you got this sweet app, so it's very similar to like an Uber. So in the app, you say, I want to sign up for a block. A block is anywhere from 3 to 6 hours.
Yeah.
And then what you do is once you sign up, and I've seen people, because where this warehouse is near my house, I see people lining up and actually driving early in the morning to get here. So basically you get in this big long line, and you basically show them, the block you signed up for. They then tell you what packages you're going to be delivering. You load up your car, and then you have a certain amount of time to deliver those packages. And they estimate that you're going to make anywhere from $18 to $25 an hour.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, there's no health insurance. No. You're paying for your own gas, wear and tear on your car, mileage, all those sorts of things. So the number I saw, it netted out to be somewhere in the neighborhood of about $15 an hour, which it's double minimum wage. So it's not that terrible.
Think about it this way, Luke. If we would have gone and been Amazon Flex drivers for all of the time that we've been researching, recording, editing, and posting podcasts, just think, even if it's $15 an hour, how much money we would have made. I mean, not nearly as much as all of the podcast money we've made.
Yeah, of course.
But my goodness.
Yeah, and
poor decision making.
The problem, though, is it was really great at first, just like all things, but there's been a lot of backlash. These drivers for Flex in particular have been, they say that they're treated as like a disposable workforce. If you don't deliver your stuff in time, you get penalized. You get a certain amount of packages, and it might take you like 12 hours to deliver it. So if you figure out your hourly rate, it's way less than $18 to $25 an hour. So
yeah. All right, so before we go on, I think it's time to take a break for this week's Luke's Rant.
So this rant is related to Amazon, and I love Amazon Prime. I love the 1 day. I even like the 2 day. You're a 2 day hater now because you're so used to the 1 day.
I honestly hate when something takes more than 2 days. It just seems totally unacceptable to me at this point, which is absurd.
So I have two things to kind of one is a good thing and one is a negative thing, and I'm going to lead off with the negative and we'll go to the good thing. So the Amazon small business delivery service, these are the people that own their own delivery companies that exclusively work for Amazon, and they get these big blue vans. You've seen them all over the place. They think they kind of own the roads. And I think they need to do a little bit of maybe background checks or some training on how they drive. Literally, they park their cars or their vans in the middle of the road, and they go in the back of the van and have a sandwich. I'm not sure what they're doing. I'm sure they're organizing packages or trying to do something. But they'll be the other day, I sat on my own street, which is a dead-end street, so there's no other way to get to my house. I sat on my street for 7 minutes. I beeped twice. I was just getting ready to get out of my car and see if the guy was okay. I thought maybe he had a heart attack. 7 minutes, I couldn't get past his vehicle. 2 beeps, and as soon as I was getting ready to get out, he jumped out of the car and ran up with this little teeny tiny package. It was like a magazine that was getting delivered. So Amazon, you got to work on your Amazon small business delivery service folks. They need to be a little more courteous with their driving.
Wow.
The good thing, and everyone should do this, so there's something called smile.amazon.com. I think I've mentioned this one before, but we all have some charitable organization that we love and want to donate to, whether it's for pets or animals or churches or nonprofits or cancer research, whatever it is. If you go to smile.amazon.com, you can actually choose a nonprofit. There's a huge list. You can do a search for your favorite. They go in as your nonprofit partner, and if you are logged in to smile.amazon.com, it's the exact same login. It works and looks the exact same way. You'll just see Smile in the upper left-hand corner. Everything you purchase, a percentage goes towards that charity. So, and kudos to Amazon for doing that. They've given away millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars each and every year.
I think smile.amazon.com or wherever is an amazing program.
Yeah.
Do you think it's just a giant tax write-off?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Good job, Amazon. But it's very nice.
Yeah,
I think that's a great way
awesome
to do things. I try and use Smile all the time, and I forget.
I forget sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Fun fact for you, Luke.
Shoot.
For you and you alone. So everyone else, stop listening.
Ooh.
If you start doing the delivery thing, the Flex,
Yep.
Amazon will actually be like, yo, you like that? And you're like, yeah, I like that. You're like, you want to keep doing that? Yeah, I want to keep doing that. You want to do it full time and start your own company? Yeah. we'll give you $10,000 to be on your way.
I have a caveat for that.
Well, go ahead and get it.
I think your fun fact was slightly incorrect.
I mean, it was.
You have to be an Amazon employee. So
you can't just do flex. You have to be an employee.
Yeah. So if you're
do you count as an employee? If
no,
you're
flex? You're considered a 1099 contractor. So that $10,000 was for Amazon. Apparently, it's Amazon. I wrote it again.
Amazon employees.
Apparently, if you're an Amazon employee, they've asked. We'll give you $10,000 per employee to start your own small business, and this is that small business delivery service.
Yeah.
And these are all those blue vans that are blocking my street.
Maybe we should do this.
So I actually looked into this. I have an entrepreneurial spirit, and
you have the spirit, you just don't have the follow through.
Exactamundo. So this small bit. So it seems really great on paper. So
yeah, it does.
Apparently, you only need $10,000 cash to get started,
which they're going to give me, or is that in addition to their $10,000?
No. Only if you're an employee do you get this. So you personally have to have $10,000.
So if I was going to do this not being an employee.
You need your own $10,000.
Yeah. Okay.
So you need $10,000 to get started, but then you need to have $30K of liquid assets. So you need to have something you can sell or stock or something.
Mean?
So you need to own a home that at least has $30,000 worth of value in it. So you could actually live is the idea. So you need $30,000 in liquid assets.
Okay.
I'm a finance guy. I know all about liquid assets. So what they say is you can make a revenue. So this isn't how much you make like in your bank and your wallet. You can make a revenue of $1 to $4.5 million per year.
Whoa! Sign me up.
Well, that's revenue.
Uh-huh.
As the owner of the business, you could make $75,000 to $300,000. The caveat:
I feel like you could make more.
You
What
could.
if you have 2 locations.
You could.
12 locations.
You're just going to keep on saying a number.
Basically.
The caveat is that's if you have 20 to 40 vans.
So 20 maybe is like 75.
Yeah,
and 40s maybe 3.
Maybe, and the idea.
That's a lot of
but the
vans.
cool thing is, like, when I looked into it, the support they give you. So they give you all kinds of crazy discounts to lease these vans that are already set up. They give you the devices for all the scanning that you do. You get priority whenever you go to the distribution centers to pick up the goods. They have all kinds of stuff to help support your team because you got to hire a bunch of people because you don't work for Amazon still. You're your own business. You're a subcontractor to Amazon, but they'll help you with all the business paperwork you need to do for your employees and all that sort of stuff. So it seemed like a pretty good deal.
Sounds like a no-brainer.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's a lot. If $75K is like the low end, that's a lot of work for $75K.
Well, temporary inconvenience for permanent improvement, Luke.
Yeah, so
40 vans.
It's
I'll
interesting.
Chip in. Give you $20.
I don't think that's going to help me.
Not going to help? I think it's a pretty cool idea. I know people who
do flex.
Well, no, I don't know anyone who does flex, but I know people that go to like Target or Marshalls or something like that, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're selling this TV remote control for $1. I'll buy all 500 of them that you have." And then they resell the items and package them up and ship them, so they have almost like a little business going. That's what they do for a living. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's kind of risky because who knows if anyone wants that remote or a polka dot umbrella or a Hatchimal, but you know. It's an idea. Let's see here. Oh, how about this? So in 2019, June of 2019, Amazon announced that delivery drones are going to be a thing. So that's pretty cool. And they were given a 1-year permit by the FFA to test them out. The packages have to be under 5 pounds, and whoever's flying those drones has to be way better at it than I am because my drone track record is like 0 for 3.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's really interesting. Some other innovative solutions are Scout, is what they call it, and it's a robot that drives down the sidewalk and delivers packages to you at your door, which is kind of nice.
That would only work in like cities.
Yeah, it would only work in cities, and I was told somewhere that there was still a little bit of trouble with those, and that they like ran a lady over or something. Like the technology wasn't quite where it needed to be.
Sorry.
No. They also have a patent out for a giant floating
I
warehouse.
saw that. It looked like a Zeppelin.
Yeah, it looks like the Goodyear blimp or
Yeah.
something. But my thought is they probably have this with all the packages where it needs to go. It floats around, and the drones probably pick them up and shoot back off, charge,
That
shoot
is
back off.
That's like so like that's like so futuristic. Like the thought of like a floating warehouse.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. But it's not all roses.
It's not,
Luke.
James.
No, it's dangerous. The warehouses are very dangerous, in fact.
I've heard that.
One stat I saw showed that an ambulance was called to Amazon locations in the UK 600 times over 3 years. That's not a great track
Look
record.
at all those robots flipping around, and apparently they have a really high demand on their employees for like
Super high.
how efficient they are. Like somewhere in the neighborhood, if you're not task. I don't know if I said task oriented or if you're not on a task or if you're
30 minutes you're allowed off
30 minutes.
task.
Yeah, off
if you're
task.
off
That's what
task,
it
you
is.
get written up. And 30 minutes, that's not so bad. But keep in mind that warehouses are 1 million plus square feet. So if you have to go to the bathroom, you might have to walk 5 minutes to get to that thing. So you're just like burning your off task time right there just to be able to go to the bathroom.
You could just buy a Whizzinator off of Amazon though.
I don't know what that is.
That's one of those things you can.
Coffee can?
No, it's like it's essentially it's actually like for truck drivers. Like you can actually you don't have to stop driving and you can like pee in a container.
Amazon providing its own solution. So there's one more thing I wanted to talk
Shoot.
about. Why are Amazon boxes so freaking big?
Yeah.
Like you said, you get a little lipstick. It's in the world's largest box. I get the same thing all the time. Like some I get a lot of lipstick for myself.
I'm sure you do.
And it's always in a giant box. So in 2016, Amazon finally offered up an explanation to this. Small items come in large boxes because of the packing software that the company uses. It uses really advanced software to figure out how many boxes can fit on a van or a storage unit safely and get transported. So this software determines how many packages can fit in that truck, which items should go in a large box or small box, and how is it going to keep these boxes shifting around and not breaking during transit.
So a lot of the box size isn't the product. It's probably a part. It's probably
shipping.
a part of the product, but also part of efficiently shipping stuff.
Right. So they said, I think they tweeted it. Amazon software is playing automated Tetris with the packages.
Did you ever see the pictures of like how they get that? It's bananas.
Yeah, I can't believe how advanced that stuff must be to get done so efficiently.
Yeah.
Since a computer program determines the size of the boxes to use to keep things spaced or packed snugly in the delivery truck, it always errs on the side of caution to choose a box that's plenty big enough for the product and can then fill that space. It also then ensures, or at least Amazon says this, it ensures ultimately better products arriving without damage, or a better ratio of products.
Did you ever have to
without
return
damage.
something to Amazon?
Yes.
I don't think I ever have. Ever.
I'm glad for
Everything's
you.
been.
Rarely do I have to.
I got like a handful of fun facts.
Let's hear 'em, yeah.
One we already made. 50 planes. They have 300 of their own semi trucks. They got over 20,000 of these third-party delivery vans through the Delivery Service Partner Program. They have their own shipping vessel for the stuff that goes back and forth to China. That's on they're not worried about the timing. This is like the big high volume stuff that they're ordering from China.
Yeah.
They have their own sea vessels.
That's crazy.
Bananas.
That's bananas.
That's bananas.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned already the minimum wage, and this was 2018,
They upped
19.
this. They've doubled.
I think it's gone up
It's
a little
15,
bit.
yeah.
It's
That's great.
$15 an hour for over 350,000 of their employees.
Considering, I think $7.25 is normal minimum wage right now. That's really good.
Yeah, I think
So good for them. I think they've also encouraged other companies to up it as well.
And
which is
apparently,
interesting.
they got killer benefits.
Yeah,
Like good health care.
yeah.
Like I heard one of the guys that was complaining about like the work conditions. He was like, the only reason I stayed was because of the benefits.
Right.
Well, they can't. I mean, everybody has
Who
something about
doesn't
their
say
job
that?
they doesn't
Right.
like. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe you don't like standing all day, but you have great benefits, so just deal with it.
Fun fact for you:
Shoot.
Amazon's been around for 25 years.
That doesn't seem like
It's
long
not
time.
a very old company, but I don't remember it being around that long. My wife tells me that back in the day, they used to only ship books. They were just like a online
bookseller.
bookstore.
Yep.
I don't remember that.
I remember that.
But then again, I don't read, so it makes sense. All right, before we end this, I did want to take some time for this week's shout-outs.
Let's hear who it is.
Dylan W., an aspiring civil engineer from Canada, eh?
Hey.
Well done. Had some ideas for the show, like solving the energy crisis in various areas. I don't know how smart he thinks we are. Minors that match majors for engineering. So if you're like a mechanical engineer, maybe it's good to have a biology minor, so you could go into like biomechanical.
So like your basket weaving minor doesn't.
My mathematics minor does not do me any good, but maybe basket weaving would be better. We don't know.
Could be.
And also the chemistry involved in plastics engineering. I don't think we've even done what is plastics engineering yet, so maybe we could add that to the list as well.
We'd have to talk to Kristen, because
Yeah,
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, and Google wouldn't tell you.
Nope.
Well, Dylan, thank you for writing in. If any of you want to write in, email us at unprofessionalengineering@gmail.com. Make sure to go online to the iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a review.
Subscribe.
Share.
Listen.
All those things. Again, if you want anything, amazing stickers, you want to just write in and say hi, any of that stuff, unprofessionalengineering@gmail.com. Hopefully you all enjoyed this, and until next time.
See ya.